Assalamu alaikum. My name is Roha Zahoor and I'm a business student and I'm currently starting in second semester. Today with us we have Dr. Ambreen Javed. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you on the set.
Thank you so much for having me.
The topic that we'll be discussing today is the family support that affects the professional females in Pakistan. So, can you just tell us a bit about yourself and your background as a university teacher in Pakistan?
Okay, this is Dr. Ambreen Javed from the Department of English. I'm currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of English. I've always been wanted to teach at the university level, and I think I cherish myself more as a researcher who teaches and as a faculty member who loves to inculcate research in the teaching. So I always wanted to be a university teacher after I changed my path from being a medical doctor to being an educationist. I wanted to join education because I thought that it's a field where you have a lot of area to play around with guiding students and with guiding others. So I think the audience that we have as a university teacher is really, really, really intriguing because you people have your own backgrounds, your own knowledge, your own set of skills, and yet we can contribute into those set of skills, into that knowledge, into those area of expertise. So this has always been something that I wanted to do.
What was your inspiration to pursue a career in education?
Okay, my inspiration was to guide the younger generation. I've always been interested in working with children or working with young adults. I initially wanted to be the medical practitioner, but I couldn't, and so I really, really, really loved to be a child psychologist or somebody who would resolve issues with the young adults. And so I thought that education is the best area to join in. And while after my FEC, I had to decide which way to go. So I chose this field, and I am a teacher by choice instead of a teacher by chance. And I think that makes all the difference. So I really loved working around young adults. I chose it when I myself was of your age group and I was at your level. So I thought that this age group needed a lot of guidance in so many ways. It's not just the curriculum, or it's not just the exam skills or something. There are so many ways in which you can guide this generation. And then the best thing is that after guiding this generation, you see the results right in front of you, and you see that, oh my god, I've done it. That, oh my god, I've supported them in this way or in that way. Initially, I still remember in my first year when I joined FC as a university teacher. I've been teaching for the last 15 years almost.
Okay.
I started teaching from the students who were learning at the secondary level, then I taught at higher secondary and then undergrad level. So I really cherished my journey as a teacher in the way that I had encountered the students who really needed attention, who really needed the advice at different level. I've taught boys, and I've really, really, really enjoyed that because at the secondary and higher secondary level, you can see they require a lot of grooming and a lot of support, and they need somebody who could understand their perspective, who could understand and who could relate to their sense of humor, who could relate to their life practices and all that. So I really liked it, and I think that what I wanted to do is something that I do every day, and that what's keep me motivating to be a faculty member. The one thing more, you get your feedback really quickly. You get your feedback by the word of mouth, by the uh, feedback that students give in terms of papers, in
Yeah.
terms of their writing, in terms of registering a course from a particular faculty
Yeah.
member. So I think that's a really promising area, and I'm glad that I chose this, and I'm glad that I'm part of it.
Yeah. So let's just talk about understanding the challenges that a woman face in Pakistan. So, what are some common challenges faced by working women, and particularly in the field of academia, if you talk
Okay,
about it?
there are a lot of challenges that you as a working woman face. For example, when as young girls you get out of your home and you start working, being a confident girl has a lot of challenges with it as well. People think that if you are so confident and so bold, so you're okay with a lot of things, when you yourself are not okay with them. So the contrast of being okay of girls who are not that confident and not that working, and the girls who step out of their homes to work, whether that's by choice or by chance. So I think the first challenge was that to maintain your boundaries in spite of being a woman who knows which way to go, in spite of being a woman who can stand anywhere and speak her heart and brain out. So I think the first challenge was that. The other is when you grow a bit in the field, the normal challenges are coming and going from work to work every day, dealing with the people at work. There are certain people who are very supportive, and there are certain people who look at you as a naive young girl. And then I think as a working woman in Pakistan, you have to maintain a particular image. And you need to be very, very careful. When I, as a very young professional, joined institutions, I needed to be very, very careful of my reputation, I think, because that's where people can play around. I've been one of the fortunate women because I had a lot of support from my family. I never struggled with the gender biased things in my family and at my home. One of those fortunate people. We are four sisters, and the four of us are working females, thriving in their own fields. So one of my sisters has just completed her postdoc from the Harvard School of Medicine. She's in Canada. She's not married. Again, the different thing from a Pakistani background is, and she's working at Manitoba Cancer Research Center. One of my other sisters, she's in Malaysia, married, and she's pursuing her career in the computer science development field. My third sister is in Islamabad. She's a team lead, a manager at a very prestigious multinational firm. So I think it speaks how my family have always been so supportive. I really got to know these things when I got out in the field. So I had a lot of support from my father, from the home, because my father always used to believe that girls should get equal chances. And I think we never discussed that girls and boys should get equal chances or not. It was something that
was just there.
Yes, and it came so naturally. So I never thought that, okay, whether I never had to think that whether I'll be allowed to go abroad to study or not, or whether I'll have to do this or not. So that was one thing that I had. But yes, in the broader social and cultural settings, we have a lot of challenges to face. It becomes easier when you don't have to fight all of them at home. So I didn't have to fight all of them at home. Yes, there are certain particular boundaries in which you can function. I did. Uh, the society 20 years back was very different than the society that is now at the moment. And I think that in relation to academia, the challenges are a bit less, Because when you start teaching at institutions, there are a lot of female teachers there. If I particularly talk about the English department, you'll always find female teachers in the
Yeah.
English department. So, considering these things in academia with the English department, the support is more and the challenges are comparatively lesser, I would say. If I would have been working in any multinational company, my challenges would have been different. But here, they were. I think they were not that much because maybe I was trained in a way. I was never shy. I've always been a speaker throughout my life. So I knew how to face the audience. I knew how to stand in front of the class. Yes, the challenges I had were controlling the boys' intermediate classes and all that. But then again, the confidence that you get from your home and the confidence that I had during my training helped me so much with those things.
So, what societal expectations do women face when it comes to their careers? As women are expected to juggle to run a whole household, and then if they want to pursue a career, it just doesn't it get a bit difficult?
That's such a nice question, I would say. I'm not married, but when I started working, the common sentence that my mother used to say and that my mother used to have is that even if you're working, you need to know how to cook and you need to
Yeah.
know how to do this and all that. And it's not that I was expected to only know how to do this. I was expected to do that as well. Even currently, I'm living independently as a single woman, and I obviously have to manage my things, and I obviously have to manage my like my everyday things. I manage my grocery myself. I manage my all the market oriented things myself. I manage my place myself as well. I've got it decorated by my own self. I've got if I need to get anything, I can drive off and I can get things. But yes, as when we talk about the societal expectations, a female needs to be a female in so many particular ways. You're a working woman, but still you need not to be so bold.
Yeah.
In so many particular ways, you need to set in the boundary that has been set by the society. You need to know cooking. People, girls and women who don't know cooking and they're working, they've been looked down upon as something that, oh, you cannot cook, you don't know how to cook or something. And I personally believe cooking is a skill that my brothers can cook, they do. But related to the I think when we look at the broader social cultural perspectives and things like that, yes, you need to dress up in a particular way as a working woman. That needs to be modest as well, and modern as well. You need to look after your looks. They need not to be too outdated and they need not to be too modern.
Yeah.
You need to look after your ways, your language, the way you live at your homes. You are expected to be independent in particular ways and dependent in particular other ways. So I think there are a lot of challenges when I, as working woman, look at. But I myself believe that there are more challenges when I, as not working woman, look at. So I think that my being a working woman has given me a lot of exposure and a lot of understanding of the things. But then, yes, initially, you really need to take care of your surrounding. What are people saying about you is another challenge for you as a working woman, where you're placed in terms of how you dress up and how you behave and all the other things. So I think these are all the challenges.
So, balancing work and personal life. How do you manage your personal and your professional life?
Okay, I think with me, the major issue is that I very recently taken notice of is I have very less personal life and a lot of work life. So I think my personal life revolves around my work life more, because I've always been a very passionate teacher. As a very young girl, I learned to be available to certain situations. But then gradually, with the passage of time, I've been involved in a lot of things. I'm involved in societies. I'm the advisor of the Formanites Debating Society. I'm the advisor of Formun as well. So being an advisor of two public speaking societies asks a lot from me. And I have to be there on certain occasions where so many other advisors are not. So again, being a working woman and one who is an active one, who holds her floor, who knows where to stand and where to work. I am there at all of my events that are being organized. I have been like when I look back, I see that I have invested a lot of myself in the extracurricular activities as well. So apart from being the classroom and the research and the guidance to my classroom students, I had a lot of unbalanced work life where I catered to the societies and all of these things. But then I thought that all of those things give me energy to move on to, and I enjoy a lot from, because I myself have been a speaker, and that being a speaker and being an advisor to a public speaking societies always feel like going back home. So these were the things that I really enjoy. So, and then now I'm also the assistant guardian for the Hope Tower. So being a flow guardian, meeting my I think there are a lot of meetings in my personal life as well. But then yes, being a daughter and an eldest one who needs to be available to the family. When I came to Lahore in 2013, it was very recent that my father passed away 2 years back, and I, being the eldest daughter, had to be there. So I remember that I used to run every second weekend to my home just to make sure that my younger siblings and my mother doesn't feel that I'm not around. So those were the times when I was doing my PhD as well, and I used to travel a lot just to make it sure that my family had been looked at. And I like, for my personal life, I do that. One thing more, I try to be available for my siblings, again being the eldest one. For my work and personal life balance, I think I give more of myself to work. And I think so many female working women do that. I look at my sisters and I see that yes, they do that as well. Though we have different challenges and different areas where we invest ourselves a lot. But then I think that all the females do that. Most of the females do that. And I have been doing that as well. Yes, I've been enjoying doing work because it gives me satisfaction that I've done my part of the work. But then, yes, I've been investing myself a lot in the professional life, because this needs to be done. And I need to be there while all of the checklist needs to go down.
So, would you ever decrease your working hours and increase your personal time, or you're okay with how you're going right now?
Okay, in the very recent years, I realized the burnout thing, and I realized that no matter how much you love your job, there are burnout moments. I've always been an introvert throughout my life. So yes, there are times when I need to go back and shut myself up in the hibernation to get the energy back. I still do that on weekends. One thing more, as a working woman, I have, in the very recent years, I have learned to take weekend for myself. So now I don't reply to emails on weekend. Now I don't work on weekend in a way that it like, still being a faculty member, you have to go through your lectures. Being a faculty member, sometimes you have to mark the assignments as well. But then I try my level best not to work on weekends and have the weekends to myself, so that I can have my own time. And again, this is because I want to be a good professional. I want to be a good teacher.
You want to be the best of the professionals.
Yes, and then I think that your personal space, your mental health, and all of these things count a lot in your personal dealing with the people. So, a very pleasant faculty member has worked on herself on the weekend. But then again, when I was growing up at home, there were so many things that I was expected to do on weekend. From the Sunday breakfast to so many other things. A situation is different now because I live alone at the moment, and I have all the time to myself. Yes, I try to have weekends to myself so that I can go back to the work more energized.
So I would like to talk about mental health. This is one of the rising issues and in this current era. So how does the pressure of balancing work, family responsibilities affect the mental health of mental well-being of a working woman?
Thank you so much for asking this question. Because I have seen that people talk a lot about mental health, but they don't know what mental health is. And I think women at my place should understand the childhood traumas we had, the issues we had, and how they shape us at this stage in my life. How I respond to the things are all set in my nervous system, and that nervous system has been there since my childhood. So I think again, these challenges of working, of balancing the work life and personal life, and these challenges of balancing your health and your mental health take a lot of time. So like for me, it's proper sleep and rest and some time out from that, all that hustle bustle of the life. I need time to my own self. All the socialization that I have to do has to be done outside my apartment,
Yeah.
and that's it. I need, when I go back home, when I go back to my apartment, I need some time to myself in order to figure out things. I really love lazy evenings.
Yeah.
I really like them. Since I was a very young girl, I used to have my cup of tea, sit down on the balcony at my home, look at the sunset or something like that. The only reason I didn't join the corporate sector, because in the corporate sector you don't have evenings to yourself.
Yeah.
So I like a quiet evening where you can just be quiet and where you can get your motivation back. So that's my way of doing it. One thing more, talking about the mental health, I read a lot.
Okay.
If I encounter an issue, I read a lot. I try to understand the issue, what it is. And then because I have dealt a lot of mental health issues with myself, with my students. And I have been guiding students a lot in the past few years. But it's very recently that I have looked at the personality issues. I've looked at the boundary issues that especially we as females and we as girls have, because that's how we are being taught, because that's how we are always expected by the society to be available and to be there and all that. So it's very recent that I have looked at all of these issues and all of these problems, and I read a lot. Whenever I get an issue, I read and I try to make sense out of it. That what is it, and then what are the things that needed to be there with that. So that's how I try to do.
When we talk about workplace dynamics, so what are some specific challenges that a women encounter in their professional lives?
I think, like it said, that women are very careful drivers, but yet they are being
Yes.
looked down upon because
Yeah.
they are very careful drivers and they needed not to be so careful. So I think in the same way, the work-life balance is that we are very careful workers who understand that all the checklists need to be done. I became the coordinator for writing and communication in 2019. And I still remember the pressure I had in 2019 because the expectations were being communicated with me. And I had a lot of pressure of dealing with the things. So currently, I'm working as the coordinator for writing and communication. I'm the advisor for FDS and Forman, and I'm the assistant guardian for the Hope Town. And I think that this is a lot on my plate at the moment. But and all of these roles expect a lot of things from me, and being a working woman, I try to be the best, and I would not say the best, but I would say that I try to fulfill my responsibilities in all of those jobs, and then being a teacher as well. So it takes a lot of energy and time and your mental energy and all of that to fulfill all of these roles. So I think we as women work more because we have been trained to do that
Yeah.
right at our homes as well. I think that we work more in order to prove ourselves, maybe, or in order to just tell ourselves that okay, there's nothing left that I've not done. I'm up to date, my work is done, my assignments are being marked and all that. And then I think that our brains are trained since childhood to mark the checklist that we have and
Yeah.
to see that okay, all our things are done, managed, proper, etc., etc., etc. So I think that is one thing.
Do you see any gender biasness in the workplace? Like you have to do more work in order to prove yourself rather than a man would have to do?
Not particularly where I am at the present, but in the previous institutions, yes, I have seen that. And I think that maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe it's a gender thing. Maybe we as females are trained in a way to take all of these things very seriously and to prove ourselves, whereas men are not, maybe they are not trained in that way. I've been teaching boys, and I remember the boys at secondary and higher secondary levels, and they when I used to tell them that see, girls from the other section, or girls from the other wing, they have secured better marks as compared to you, and they used to say, ma'am, they only study, they don't do anything else. And when I used to ask them, what do you do? They say, we have to go out with friends, and there are a lot of other things that we need to do. So I think that this is the gender thing that has come with our society. And so women are expected to work more and take things
Into their hands.
more seriously everywhere. Look at our mothers.
Yeah.
The attitude of our mothers and the attitude of our fathers. My father has always been so easygoing, and my mother has never been so easygoing on anything. Right from our education to our behavior to our manners to our everything, I think so. So that's where
They're
it is.
more particular about small
Yes,
things,
yes,
things,
yes.
and like the guys don't care about it.
So I think we are raised in a way
Yeah.
where we don't take things very easily, and where we
So, can you share any personal anecdotes or experience you have had to overcome the obstacles as a working woman in Pakistan?
when I came to FC, I didn't have a place to live. The hostel on the campus was under construction, and I had to find a place outside. I think those 2 years were the most difficult time, where I, as a very young woman, came to another city. And I came to another city because my career wanted that. So I wanted to teach in the university, and the time then at my career was that I had to leave college, the intermediate side, and I had to come to the university. And that year, in Islamabad, since I am from Islamabad, that year in Islamabad, the universities didn't have a lot of advertisements to join in as an undergrad teacher. The advertisement from FC came. I came for the interview and I got selected. It was just one seat there, and I got selected. It was just because of the career that I had to move here, and I really, really wanted to move here. A lot of issues were there when I went out to find a place to live. A lot of issues. When, as a very young woman, you go out and you search for a hostel, people have different perceptions about you.
Yeah.
You visiting hostels alone raise a lot of eyebrows at you. आपके साथ कोई आया नहीं है, you're alone, and things like that. Whereas I was raised in a way that I was very okay with being alone, going to places, being alone. And then I couldn't afford my mother to be here with me and all that, because she had a home, she had people to take care of. And so that was a time when things were really difficult for me. As a working woman, people used to ask, okay, what do you do? Oh, okay, you have joined as a lecturer in this institution. Right. And then again, the expectations and the particular things, I could see in their eyes, I could see in the tone of their voice, I could see in the way they used to behave with me. So that was a bit difficult experience when I had to find a place for myself to reside. Later on, when the Hope Tower was completed, I came back. It's a lot easier to live on campus because you have less eyebrows raised at you for not conforming to the norms of a lot of things. So these were a few things.
Do you see any positive trends or changes in Pakistan?
Oh yes. I'm so glad to see you all girls being more confident and being less caring about a lot of things that we as girls were. I'm so happy to see girls being more aware of a lot of things that I, as a college or university student, was not aware of. And I think that yes, things have changed. And I think that if we as working women, if we as the torch bearers could help you out in this sense, I'm so glad that there are female role models for you people. I too had my teachers, I too had my female role models to look up to. Though I have it's not that I wanted female role models to look up to, but it's easier to have it's easier to relate to them in a lot of things. So I too had my female role models, and I think that we as working women can set up a really good role model thing for you guys, because then there are I have seen a lot of my female students coming and talking to me about the marriage issues that are there in our society, talking to me about this thing that see, since you are like that, so the others can be like that as well. And I feel so happy and so proud that, and then my female students say that, ma'am, we need more people like you, where you can be a very positive person and you can live a life of your own choice. So I think that this female role model thing, where we have working women who can be looked up to, and girls can sit and talk about issues with them. I discuss a lot of issues with my residents at Hope Tower as well, and with my female students as well. They can come to me and they talk about a lot of things with me, and I'm so glad that they talk about those things. So I think female role models have also set a tone. I think that since for the past few years there are more working women in the field, so the stage has been set and the tone has been set in a way that yes, things are changing, and I'm glad they are changing. We You people still have your own challenges. It's not that the challenges are
Yeah.
not there. With a different world, you have different challenges, but there will be they will be different, but I think they will be lesser in a way or so.
Yeah. So, what problems do you think that you have faced, but Gen Z or Gen Alpha won't face?
I'm not sure about it because my girls still complain of all that marriage issues that are still there. My girls still complain of the mother's expectations that are
Yeah.
still there. I think I hope our mothers change a bit so that our girls can have more flexibility and they can have more room to play around. But still, for example, there were more comparisons with boys, and now there are lesser. I can see there were lesser girls in education. Now there are more, so you have more comradeship, you have more companionship. I've seen supportive females as well. Now the concept of girls supporting each other is also there. So, because initially there were very less positions for females, and a female interviewer would always judge a female interviewee at a job interview. Now it's not like that.
Yeah.
Now things are different in terms of it. I see my sister in interviews at multinational companies. I have seen, I've seen supporting females more as compared to the number of females that were there.
So, is there anything else you would like to talk about or say in regards to what do you expect more from the society?
Okay, I think that it's basically your home that carves you however you are. And then you, as a girl, step out in the world, you look around, and you see what serves you the best. I think women who are married, have kids, are equally important as women like me who are confident and single and happy. And I think that the expectation of the society from a girl being a girl and a boy being a boy needs to be lesser so that we can have individuals who are more independent and
Yeah.
who can work around things, because the challenges that we face are different and the challenges that the other gender face is
Yeah.
are different as well. So I think that we need to be more acceptable as a society, so that so that we can ease things for the people who are living here, and that's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Had a very nice talk. So
Thank
glad
you
to
so
have you in
much,
the
Roha.
set.
Same here.